Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. All right guys, we're going to check out these PPQ mags. I want to see if they really, if this dude did what he said he did, he's going to make some money, that's for sure. And then at the end, you got to stay guys, because we need to discuss something. And I'm in a moral dilemma. I need your opinions, guys. I really do. Let's go. All right, guys, so if you guys remember, if you watched the mail call last night, we got a gift from a guy named Jason who said he has cracked that code on the PPQ magazines. Now, if the mod he did works on the PPQ, it would work on all of the T4E launchers. But once again, we have to test this thing. So here's what we're going to do. By the way, YouTube, this is not a firearm. There are no firearms on my channel. Guys, you laugh at me. You laugh at me, right? Let me give you some inside baseball. Those last two videos we just did, they demonetized both of them, but not for a long time. So what they do, most of your videos on a YouTube channel come in, your views will come in usually in the first 24 to 48 hours, right? That's when you get the heavy flow of people watching the new videos. So I drop a video, they demonetize it right off the bat, okay? Everybody watches it, I challenge it. The next day they say, oh, we were wrong, and remonetize it. But by that time, all of those views are gone. So it's a racket. It really is. And it happens literally every video, guys. It's like no joke. Every video they're pulling that, and I have to, they even did it on the mail call. And I literally had to go back through there and challenge it to get it remonetized again. So yeah, when I do this stuff, this is not a firearm. That's because YouTube is being silly, just FYI. So, all right. This is my personal trusty PPQ, guys. I have had this thing forever, and as you can see, it is well worn. I've put thousands of rounds through this thing, and I love it. So, we've got two magazines here. This is an unmodded PPQ mag, straight from the manufacturer, never even had a round loaded into it, okay? This is a modded with the mag spring. Now, if you guys have got a T4E launcher, and I mean any of them, the Glock, Smith & Wesson VP9, you need to have that mag spring mod done. It changes the whole dynamic of the launcher. It makes them a ton better. Originally, that spring mod was invented by a guy named Mike Moots over at Air Funners. Dude is awesome. He really is. I took what he had made and then I changed it around a little bit. There were some tolerances I kind of messed with a little bit to get some optimal performance out of them. And now I have them. Everybody now has them. They all have their own versions of them. But either way, you need to mod that mag. That you will not regret it, trust me. And in the box, this is the good one. The mag of mags. This is the modded magazine from Jason. Now, guys, to look out on the outside, you can't see too much of a difference. Oh, except I did just notice one thing. Okay, so one thing I did notice, see that brass fitting on the center of the valve in there where it comes out? It appears that either that brass fitting is not there or it has been wattled out. Now, he told me that he had wattled out the inside of this thing and then to get more air into the chamber. And that's what is giving him more velocity, but we have to test that. Now, we're going to test with the rounds he sent, all right? These are those alien play balls. So if they're 43 calibers, they ought to be right around 1.8 grams, I think. Let's see here. Hold on. They are 1.81 grams. Fine, I was off by 1. All right, let's check another one. Let's get a couple of these to make sure. 1.83 grams. Let's weigh that one more time here. Yep, 1.83 grams. 1.82 grams. So they're going to be in the 1.8 gram range, all right? So we're going to measure them at 1.8. Now, what I want to do is a control test. We're going to put in 4 rounds in each magazine, and I'm doing that intentionally. Your first 4 rounds are where the most of the power is going to come out. That's what I want to see. We're going to have nothing but FPS ratings, guys. We don't care about joule ratings right now because we already know the weight. Therefore, we can calculate the joules once we get the FPS, which is what we're looking for. So let's get out here. Let's put a couple down range, and let's see if this guy's about to make some money. Here we go. Okay, so I wanted to give you a couple things that I just found. So I was loading up all 3 of our magazines, okay? His magazine, 2 things about it. First of all, he is running that heavier spring, which is supposed to be for like heavier ammo. Although I gotta be honest, guys, I have run every kind of ammo conceivable, up to steel bearings through this thing, and I've never had to change that spring. But he is running that heavy spring, just to let you know. And when I compress the CO2, I noticed that, you know, normally on a CO2, you're not even going to hear it. You might hear a little, that's about it. But on this one, you have to go quick because it's almost like it's a wider valve opening in there. So, in fact, I had to put a second one in because I wanted to make absolutely sure that we had full power out of it. So that was kind of interesting too. All right, so we're going to start. Our control test is going to be our standard unmodded magazine. We've got our standard mag right here. This is unmodded stock, all right, fired out of a very, very old PPQ. All right, we're going to put her in there. There we go. Charge the launcher, and all we're looking for is FPS readings, guys. We don't care about anything else at this point. So let's see if we can get some readings. Error, 273, 261, and 250. And that should be about it. Okay, so we're going to assume the first round is probably coming out right around 280, all right? Because that's, yeah, we got an error on that one. But you can see the other three readings there. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to switch to our modded mag. Now this has nothing different in it except for the mod spring, all right? Pop it in, charge the launcher. By the way, yes guys, I am wearing safety glasses back here. You can't see them because I look like a goober. All right, here we go. First shot, 287. The feel is different, guys. I mean, seriously. Error, 264, and 248. All right, now, this is where it gets crazy. We're going to try his. All right, unbiased test here, and we're going to go for straight up shots here. So cross your fingers we get some good readings, especially that first one. I'm going to move over a little, guys, so I can try to get right on this. Here we go. Error, 268, 255, and 253. So it's about the same as with the mod spring. You know what? Just for giggles, let's do it one more time. One more time. Hang on 1 second. We're going to try it again. All right. So we're going to load in 4 more rounds on a fresh CO2. Okay? 4 more rounds, fresh CO2. Charging it. Let's move you back up here. And I'm going to reset this completely, guys, just so that we get and I really want to get that first shot. Because we saw, you know, 280, 290 that's going to be average on the mod spring. It just is. 250, 260 is going to be average on the standard, at least in the first couple shots. So let's see what we get here. 267. 255, 247. I'm going to get a Scully on this one. And error, because I hit Scully. Ha! All right, guys, so let's go back in the office. Let's talk about this. It is what it is. Let's go. All right, I know those of you that have been in less than lethal for any extended period of time, you were probably expecting about the same results I was, which are not much. There's not, okay. The problem with any of the T4E line as far as upgrades go, aside from the mod spring, there's not much you can do to them. You're limited by, since everything is driven off of that one CO2 chamber at the top there, there's not much else you can do to get more air into it. Even if you do waddle it out or carry it out a little bit, it's still going to be, at the end of the day, about the same amount of air. It's negligible as far as the difference goes. A lot of people have been trying to come up with different mods for this thing. There is a hammer mod that is meh, it's okay, but it's still not, it's negligible. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to get, you're never going to see 15 to 20 joules come out of one of these. I wish you could, and I wish you did, but I just don't think you ever are. Just structurally, the way it's built isn't conducive to allowing more air behind that round. At some point, you could put an extended barrel on it. That would certainly help. But if you put an extended barrel on it, it's not as easy. I mean, all this is like one piece. It's just, yeah, that's the reason. It was a good try. a fantastic try, and I applaud his ingenuity and definitely his ability to, or desire to get in there and try, because I know a lot of people have been doing it for quite a while, yet we have yet to have anybody really succeed with any major degree of success on it. So at this point, your best mod for the T4E is still going to be the spring mod for the mag, which you should do. You should definitely do. Yeah. But all right, now we got to get into this. I don't want to get into this, but we got to get into this. So let's talk about the Joules round. These guys. I have spent all day on the phone with a ton of different people, guys, a ton of different people talking about this, because it's kind of put me into a weird dilemma. And I'll tell you what it is, then you guys can give me your input on it. My goal with this channel from the very beginning has always been to show you guys the newest products whenever they came out. So as soon as I could get them, I wanted to share them with you guys so that you could make a decision if you wanted to purchase them or not, right? An informed decision. So when the Joule rounds came out, I naturally wanted to see what they were doing and if all of the hype was what it was. So when I got them in here and I started comparing them, I discovered, much like a lot of people out there are discovering, that they are essentially clones of the Grimberg Joule, which is probably, I mean, in this industry was probably one of the greatest inventions ever, was the Grimberg Joule, that 68 caliber round that hit like a freight train, and they were just awesome. So it started me digging. And the first place I went to was directly to the source, to AR Tactical, and I got to speak to a gentleman over there today who was really a nice guy, and he seemed honestly a little surprised at all the pushback he was receiving. And I tried to explain why he was getting pushback. I mean, if you release a product that is identical in every single way, shape, and form, and even refer to it in a extremely derivative name called the Joules, you're going to get pushback, especially from a community that's been doing this for, 10 years. So I tried to explain that to him. And I also tried to ask him why they didn't take a design route with this. Why didn't they go with a 10-gram round or a 9-gram round, or change the color, or something that made it uniquely them? And the truth was, it's because what they had designed from Grimberg was a perfect 68 caliber round. It just worked. So he took that formula and started producing himself. Now, I want to clear up a couple of things about this. The American-made thing. Now, if you look on the bag, they state that they're American-made, okay? This bag doesn't, but there are some apparently out there that they actually say American-made. Let me illustrate what exactly that means, and this is once again straight from the horse's mouth. All of the material is purchased from China, okay? And it is brought over here and then assembled or molded, in this particular case, in America. So it's one of those kind of like a Toyota. The parts come from overseas and they assemble them here. Inside, personally, the guy, I kind of like the dude. He's a nice guy. I do think that they need to take the marketing and the round itself kind of back to the drawing board and change it to make it their own thing. Okay, the difference between cloning or copying, and some people would say stealing, I'm just repeating what people are flying around on the forums right now, and innovation, is that some of the things that they do over at AR Tactical is they'll take an idea that somebody had and then they will change that idea again. So if you take a product that somebody else has made and you substantially modify it or change it to better it in your own way, it becomes a part of you, right? But that's not what's happened with the Joule round. This is pretty much a cut copy of the Joule round. He said, and like I said, none of this is secret, guys. We had a very good conversation about this. In fact, he will probably be on the chat over here, guys. So please, let's keep everything respectful, okay? He said that they did this. He wanted to do this for a couple of primary reasons. Number one, because it's a great round. But number two, because he felt that the Grimberg prices were too high. Now, I want to explain a couple things about Grimberg, all right? This is a very small company, and just like I am, just like all these other YouTubers that are out there, just like, you know, every Paradigm, all of these are small companies that, when you say literally started in their garage, half of them are still in their damn garage, right? I mean, building machines and stuff to make this. So when they take a product and they generate a product and it's their lifeblood, their soul, they've put time and energy into developing and refining it and then eventually making the product, yes, they're going to have they're going to try to make some money on it to capitalize on or to recover what it has taken them to develop it. Just like a drug company, right? They don't release a drug for free. They have a high price on it. Eventually that price comes down. And I've always said that as Grimberg ramped production, we would see prices come down. Now, it hasn't happened yet because Grimberg hasn't had a chance to ramp production. They have been trying to get caught up, and that in itself is, I mean, I said this on a forum, guys, if you've never built a business from the ground up, and I mean like literally took an idea that was floating in midair, sculpt that idea into a product, make that product come to life on your desk, find a way to market that product, and then ship it out all over the world, it's not easy. It isn't easy. I mean, this is not a small endeavor. So yes, they take umbrage to the fact that we're dealing with a clone product here. And it is. I mean, even by AR Tactical's conversation that we had, it's a clone product. It is what it is. I do think that he is going to be changing that. I mean, we had a very constructive talk about this, and in fact, I gave him another idea, which I hope he follows through with if he's watching this video. And if he does, then we may see something truly innovative and unique coming from him. So it'd be, I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it would be the first time he's developed it like scrap on his own, like from the bottom. And I hope that happens because that is what we need. We need innovation. So, but as far as those rounds go, guys, they are the same as the Jewel, and it is writing on the Jewel's name, obviously. I mean, whether or not he intentionally meant that, it's kind of obvious. I mean, anybody that saw it knew it was a derivative name. But I'm hoping that in the future, he will correct on that and change the packaging, change the name, certainly change, you know, something about the round to make it uniquely his and not just a copy of something that already exists. And, you know, I'll give you an example of that, guys. For those of you who have seen the Smasher rounds, yes, Glenn can be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't say that. That's not nice. Tenacious in his advertising, right? The truth is he brought a product that didn't exist before, and it works good. So since the product works good and it didn't exist, it kind of is carving a niche for itself, despite the obnoxious advertising. Yeah, but and I suspect that it will probably go far. They could do the same thing. AR Tactical has the ability to make something unique to themselves and then market it for themselves. They do. And I hope they do. I truly hope they do. But there are a couple other things that are kind of interesting about this entire scenario. I have spent more time today talking to fellow YouTubers, talking to businesses, that includes Grimberg, and talking to AR Tactical to get their side to find out what was going on. There was a guy that was kind of pinched in the middle of this, but I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he's a friend or if he's an associate or just happened to be some dude in the wrong place at the wrong time, but there's a guy that managed to get kind of in the middle of this bashing thing too. So Grimberg is sending me out some of the new V3s that are bore matched specifically, and that's the ones I want to send through the Pistel. So we're going to hold on to these until those come in, and then we'll measure them side by side down to the caliper level and see how close they are. And we're definitely going to fire the Jewel, so you'll get to see that also. And we'll probably fire some of those, but it'll be at the same time. So yeah. Another news. This is big, guys. I know that a lot of you guys have had pre-orders in with Grimberg for a long time. I know this. Like since November of last year. It's been going on for a while. And Grimberg has had a hard time catching up on these orders for a couple of reasons. Number one, because of the switchover from the gavel to the carry. That was a big one. And machine issues that they've been having. They finally got all that rectified. And the first shipment of carries has gone out this week, okay? The first shipment of carries has gone out this week. I don't know if these are end users or not. I'm hoping we'll see some videos. I wasn't one of the ones that got one of the first ones, but that's okay. That's all right. So we may see some stuff, just some unboxings and all that coming across here shortly. So keep your eyes peeled on that. But from Kurt, directly, the first batch has shipped. So hopefully this will be a continuation thing and they can just keep on pushing here and get chugging on these things. And like I said, production high means costs come down. So the more they make, the more they sell, the lower the prices will come. We got to keep that in mind. So guys, I know this was long. I know it might have seemed a little tedious. This has been chewing on me all day. I respect everybody in this business. I really do. My goal, my job, and my loyalty is to you, the viewer. Okay. So when a product comes in, I'm going to tell you about it. That's just all there is to it. I'm going to tell you about it and we're going to test it on the channel. That's just what's going to happen because that's who I am. But if I see something that is kind of egregious or kind of stands out to me, I've got to call it out. And that's what it was. It was just kind of obvious, kind of on the nose, if you will. But I think he's going to correct course on this. And I really look forward to AR Tactical's next endeavor if he does what we were talking about. So let's hope he does. I ain't telling you what it is. Hopefully we'll find out together. So guys, have a fantastic week. I'll be talking to you before the week's out. You better believe we'll be talking. I got other news for you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.